Hi guys, I'm Stephen Green from the Property Investment Academy, and today I'm just going to talk into 5 quick tips on HMOs. So there's probably hundreds of tips that I give out on HMOs, but I'm just going to give you 5 quick ones today on HMOs and the benefits of a HMO. So I've got 2 HMOs. They're also known as cash cows. If you get them right, they can make you a hell of a lot of money. So my HMOs, between them, clearing over £50,000 worth of revenue per annum. Now, if you don't get them right, HMOs can be an absolute nightmare. They can be a complete headache if they're not systemized and you're not doing things correctly. So I just want to give you 5 tips today that'll help if you have a HMO or you're thinking about getting a HMO. So, number 1, first of all, make sure you check the demand. So, is the demand for a HMO? Too many people are quick at the moment. Everyone's jumping on the HMO bandwagon and they're saying, I'm going to get a HMO, it's going to pull in this type of money. But you're not going to pull anything in if the demand isn't there in the area that you're putting that HMO. So first of all, you need to check demand. How do you do that? Well, you can look on places like Rightmove to see if there's any of the HMOs. Is the rooms to rent? How many rooms do they have? You can actually, you could speak to the person who owns the HMO and ask him if you're allowed to run an advert on that particular building. So you could put an advert on Airbnb or something like that and advertise one of the vendors' rooms. That way you'll know quite quickly what the demand is on that building. Now you might want to be careful with that because they might be selling the property because of them not being able to get that out. So you want to be careful with how much information you actually share there. So checking demand is absolutely essential to make sure it's going to work in the first place. Point number 2, this is something that I do with both of my HMOs. I personally don't have gas in the buildings. I use just electric. That way it saves me from all the boiler checks every year. It saves from boilers breaking. It's a lot more cost effective to have electric in there. And you can get some really good energy efficiency radiators now that are electric, or really good panel radiators. So you're not then making your tenants have really high electric bills. You can get some really good energy efficient electric radiators at the moment. Now, what else I do is I see in some HMOs where people put the whole bill on one, and let's say that's 10,000 a year, and they'll split that between the 10 rooms in that HMO. Now, what I find with this is this can create problems because you might have somebody who only uses that room a couple of days a month because they work offshore, they're a contractor or something like that. So what you don't want to do is when you do that, you might have somebody saying, well, this is a bit unfair. I'm actually paying a tenth of this electric and I'm using nowhere near what so-and-so is in flat number 2, constantly has his lights on and paying all this electric. So what I do is I split down the electric bill by putting meters, sub-meters into each room. And what that does is it allows them to pay as they go. And you can do this a couple of ways. You can get electric cards, which they can buy from your office. You can get £1, £5, £20 cards. And they can buy those cards and they actually pay as they go. Another way you can do this, there's more modern ones now where you can actually top up on your phone. But you're allowing that tenant to pay for their electric as they go. So if the maybe's a little bit tight with the money, they can make savings. Or if the maybe's going away to see a family member for a month, they're not liable for paying the electric for that month while they're away. So again, I find that is it's a lot fairer way for your tenants to pay their electric. Point number 3, keys. In the early days when I first took over the HMO, we were getting calls off people saying, I've locked my keys in the room, I've lost my keys and bits like that. So what I had done quite quickly was I found somebody that I could trust in the building and I give them a copy of those keys. Now, it's absolutely essential if you do this, it's got to be somebody that you trust. So by doing that, I give somebody the spare keys. I let everybody else in the building know as well, so it wasn't a secret. I was upfront with that and said, Michael, the guy, your number one, he's got a spare key for all rooms. If you do lose your key or there's anything sort of out of hours, you can give Michael a call. Now, what I would do with that is I would give Michael the responsibility of the keys and the electric cards so people could get him out of hours. And for that, I would allow Michael to have his electricity free. So that was a way for him to make a great saving. He didn't mind. He was often about in the building anyway. And he had responsibility of that as well. Everybody else, it was transparent. They were aware that he had spare keys for their rooms as well. So if you can, choose somebody in that building that has that responsibility of taking some of these things. It just takes some admin away from you. Point number 4 is your rental income. Now, if you've got a building that has got 8 streams of income coming in from that building, you've got 8 different apartments, what you want to do is get them all paying on the same day. So say, for example, you get them all paying on the 1st of each of the month. So you know on the 1st you should have 8 payments dropping into your bank. It's a lot easier way to track if somebody's missed a payment. So you're not constantly going back and forth to collect different rent. Try and get them all automated. Try and get them all on payments directly into your bank and get them all paying on the same day. It'll take away a massive amount of headache from you. Point number 5. This is something which I found with HMOs, is it tends to be people, a lot of people are only there short term. So it's maybe a relationship breakup, it's maybe somebody working in the area. It could be a number of reasons why somebody wants a HMO and they only want to be there short term. So what I found is by furnishing my apartments, they were a lot more desirable. So I aim now to have at least 50% of my apartments in my HMO furnished. Then that way, if somebody has got a relationship breakup or something like that, they're looking for somewhere really quickly, then it really appeals to them because they're not having to go out and get washing machines and fridges and stuff like that. You can just lift your rent up a little to accommodate for you putting the furniture in, and it makes it a lot more appealing to other people. So that's my 5 tips on HMOs. There is a lot more tips than that. If you have a look through my videos, you'll see loads of great content on how you can improve your business, your property business. If you have a look in the description, you'll be able to see a link to my book. You'll be able to download that. There's also a link to attend the next free property training. So we do a 1-day training where we talk into all these things, how you can get started without money, tips on your property. If you've liked this video, please like it, share it, and make sure that you subscribe to the channel. That way you can get the new content as I'm putting it out on this channel. Thank you, and hope to see you soon on another video. Stephen. Bosh. That's how you do that shit.